I've been thinking about Nims ever since hearing the heartbreaking news that he was killed in an avalanche on Broad Peak in Pakistan a few days ago. I wrote an article on Substack just after it happened, and I've been overwhelmed by the thousands of comments from people all over the world trying to make sense of what happened. Now, like millions of people, I watched 14 Peaks, the documentary about him climbing all 14 of the world's 8,000-meter peaks in just 6 months. And I was completely blown away. A man who repeatedly walked into places that most of us can't even imagine, and somehow kept coming back. Now almost everybody's asking the same question. Why? Why, when you have people who love you, when you've already climbed Everest, when you've already climbed K2, already achieved what almost nobody else ever will, why keep going back? Why did he keep risking everything? Now, it's a question that most of us leading normal lives genuinely struggle to comprehend. And maybe it'll never fully make sense to most people. And it's because most assume that he was simply chasing mountains, chasing danger, and that eventually the odds caught up with him. I don't think that that's it. I think he was chasing a feeling, a way of being, a version of himself that only existed out there. When you watched Nims, you never got the sense that he was obsessed with records, or fame, or proving people wrong. He talked about possibility, purpose, being fully present, feeling alive. The mountains just happened to be the place where he found those things. And I think that's why his story has touched so many people. Deep down, this is a story about what it means to truly live. Psychologists call that state flow. Those rare moments when you're so completely absorbed in something that the noise disappears. There's no past to regret, no future to fear, just complete participation in the present. I suspect that's what Nims kept returning to. And not because he wanted to get closer to death, but because he had found a way of getting closer to life. And nothing can measure up to that feeling. Nothing. And maybe that's why so many of us have struggled to shake this news. Nims was a mountaineer, but he showed us that somewhere in each of our lives, there is something that makes us feel alive. And the real question isn't whether we would climb Broad Peak or Everest or K2. It's whether we're willing to walk towards whatever our own mountain is. And I think that was his greatest accomplishment. Not climbing those mountains or those peaks, but conquering the fear that stops so many of us from fully living before life is over. Rest in peace to a true inspiration.